You have ED. You think quitting corn is going to fix it automatically. It won't. There are five things destroying your blood flow that nobody is talking about. And most men quit corn and still can't get hard with a real partner. And here's exactly why. I've gone over 500 plus days on NoFap and even cured my own corn induced ED. And I learned the hard way that NoFap is literally the starting line of solving this ED issue, not the cure. Now, the bedroom and what happens there is literally the scoreboard, and your lifestyle is what shows up. Now, number one, watching lots of corn. Now, this is an obvious one, right? But we have to remember that the foundation, right, of you performing and being this type of person that you want to be literally starts with your brain, right? Outside of anything else, it starts with your brain. And we have to realize that you, right, watching corn, getting off to other people is literally, CUCK, right? That's what it is at the end of the day. And it's a super stimuli because all of these things that you didn't hunt for, right? You didn't go out and become the type of man that can attract those things. It literally helps you basically bypass what you need to do as a man to get better, right? Maybe it's you need to develop your social skills. Maybe you need to get in better shape. Maybe you need to work on your attractiveness, right? All of these things. But this allows you to bypass that. And what happens is at the end of the day, you feel worse about yourself, right? You relapse, you feel worse, you don't feel more like a man. You're not happy you did it. You still don't have the partner that you're looking for. And you're literally back at square one, right? And what you're doing is you're training your brain to respond to a screen instead of a real woman, right? And that cycle will continue to happen because you have so much dopamine that you're getting from it. Just you want to keep going back. Another dopamine hit, another dopamine hit, another dopamine hit. And literally you're in a situation to where, you just can't get it right. You just can't get it right. So you have to take a break from it and understand that it's frying your dopamine receptors, right? When you take a break and you get enjoyment from other things like hanging out with friends, right? Maybe reading a book, you'll start to realize that your brain is not so wired to instant gratification, but you can almost delay it, right? Knowing that there's a better reward on the other side. And for a lot of you, you have to understand, right? A partner is a better reward than relapsing to a screen, right? Maybe getting married, right? Having kids, all of these things are way better alternatives than just getting a quick fix that literally makes you worse at the end of it, right? And let's not forget, man, delete Instagram, right? That explore page has done a lot of damage to men's brains in general. So go ahead, delete that as soon as you can. Take a break from Instagram because that's another one too that, the explore page and the reels and what you're seeing when you're scrolling plays a huge factor as well, right? So you have to understand that it's the media that you're consuming that will wire your brain in that direction. And if you've ever noticed, if you deleted Instagram for some time or some of these visual cues that you have, you start to notice that you don't have the same type of temptation, right? And it's because Instagram is literally wiring you to to basically feed off of that natural desire to want to reproduce, right, within you, right? So it feeds off of you, and then of course your outlet, you get these temptations, and your outlet for that is to go to the corn. Now, number two, eating junk food. Now, inflammation is literally a silent killer of blood flow. And the reason why is because, processed foods, whether eating out, right, all of these seed oils that inflame your body. And don't get me wrong, right? It's hard to completely avoid any of these things, but you want to try your best and be aware of them, right? And understand that processed foods literally equal inflamed arteries, right? And when we're talking about blood flow, right, you want your blood to be able to flow easily, right? And think about it, when inflammation happens, right, it's harder for the blood flow to happen, right? And there's so many foods and they hide all of these ingredients out there nowadays that makes it really hard to even understand what you have to eat, what you shouldn't be eating. But the easiest way to follow in general advice, right, and this is not medical advice, is whole foods, right? That's simple. So if it has a ton of ingredients in there, it's probably not the best for you, right? So think about whole foods. Make sure you're getting your water, your hydration, right? And your diet directly impacts your nitric oxide production. Now, nitric oxide is what opens up your blood vessels and helps that blood to flow a little bit easier, right? And as you get older, the nitric oxide goes down. Now, in this case, for a lot of younger people who are dealing with this issue, it's not so much an exact nitric oxide issue, but when you have things like sedentary lifestyle, right, and you're not being as active and doing all these things, and you're eating all this processed food, you for sure want to focus on boosting that nitric oxide to a point to where it helps you, right, perform even better, right? And this whole anti-inflammatory living, right, it's a lifestyle at the end of the day, and you being aware and even watching this video shows that you want to move in that right direction, right? You want to take your diet, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're putting into your body seriously, because literally, if you guys don't know, right, you getting a partner, keeping a partner, that desire in all of us to reproduce, the core of it, right, and what makes you attractive to someone else is literally signs of health, right? You having your hair, right? You being in shape, you being able to perform, right? These are all signs of health, right? And I guarantee you, and probably if you're watching this, it's happened to you before, right? Where you weren't able to perform or not at your best. In that case, right, that scares someone off right away because it says there's something that's off about you, right? And a lot of people don't focus on this anti-inflammatory lifestyle, but I'm telling you, if you focus on it and you choose those foods that you know are good for you, you will absolutely perform better. Now, if you're getting value from this video, enjoying it, please hit the like button. Now, number 3, high stress. You cannot get hard when you're in fight or flight mode. And what does that mean, right? So when you get into a situation where you feel pressure on you, right? What is the number one thing that happens? Well, your heart rate starts to increase, your mind starts to race, and you know that something may happen, right? And what happens when you're in this fight or flight mode is your body literally shuts down its essential functions, right? And when you're in a situation, right, where you think you might not be able to perform, this is a huge piece that is holding you back, right? Because that high stress, and when you're putting stress on yourself, it literally will cause you not to be able to relax and not allow the blood to flow through you, right? And a huge reason of that, especially you having all of these thoughts, is watching corn, right? Because you're comparing what was in those videos and just in your mind to the actual situation, and it detaches you from the moment. And I guarantee you, if you take a break from the corn, you'll start to see that you're much more in the moment, right? You're not anxious, you're not overthinking, overanalyzing things. No, you're present, right? And that's what we're trying to get you to, because once you're present, this fight or flight mode literally vanishes, right? And think about it, right? You have hustle culture out there, and hustle culture told you that you have to grind 24/7, right? But the truth is, it's making your ED worse, right? Sitting all day is making your ED worse. You see, a lot of times I record these videos standing because I try to practice what I preach, right? Even with you get something like a standing desk, right? Or just try to stand a little bit more, go for walks a little bit more frequently, try to get more steps in, right? But all of these things are helping your ability to perform, right? And relaxation really starts within your mind, right? And some easy ways that you can do this, right, is drinking tea, right? Calming tea. That I'm guarantee you, no one is telling you to do this, right? But you can meditate, right? Maybe it's for you, it's, watching a movie could help, or just helping yourself relax, right? Whatever it is for you, reading, going for a walk, right? Find that calm place for you. But I definitely recommend meditating because there are so many benefits on it, and it doesn't even take too long. And with all the science that's out about it, you could take just about 10 minutes a day, even 5 minutes a day, and it will absolutely improve your life and also improve your performance. Now remember, you have to find your calm and what allows you to be calm, because your performance depends on it. Now, number 4, poor sleep. Testosterone is literally built on sleep. It's built while you sleep, right? And when you cut it short, you're cutting your manhood short. It's kind of hard pill to swallow, but sleep is so important and it's hard to prioritize, right? Because you have so many different things going on. You want to make money, right? You're maybe going to these different events. There's a ton of stuff going on, but you have to prioritize the sleep because the sleep is literally what allows you to be a man, right? And some of the easiest ways you can do this is going to bed at the same time, right? Or even trying to track your sleep. Now, personally, I have a ring that tracks my sleep, and that's helped me a lot as well, just to understand what those patterns actually look like and what allows me to get proper sleep, right? And it's really observing some of that data over time, right? Because you can have some of these smaller incidents to where maybe you don't sleep well or something happens here, but in general, you know what you have to do to have better sleep. Try to go to bed at the same time every night. Don't eat super late, right? Make sure you're hydrated during the day. Try to calm down at nighttime before you're going to bed. Try to chill out with the screens. And of course, things like reading before bed definitely help as well, right? So you have to understand that poor sleep also spikes your cortisol, which tanks blood flow, right? So what happens is when you don't get proper sleep each night, you're so much more susceptible to a lot of other issues, but your cortisol is generally a bit higher, right, when you're not getting proper sleep. And that means you're going to feel more stressed when you're in that situation where you're trying to perform. You're absolutely going to feel more stressed and not like yourself, right? And then also the mental piece, when you don't get proper sleep, you just don't feel is good, right? And what you have to do, and you have to get in the mindset of, is treating yourself like an athlete, right? And if you want to improve your performance, recovery is not optional, right? So just try to set an alarm tonight, let's say. And for tonight, what you want to do is you want to put the alarm for the time you have to go to bed, that you have to shut off your phone. And that's the easiest way to start this, right? But you have to take action if you want to see a change in your situation. Or not, you'll just stay the same. Now, number 5, smoking. Now, I'm going to be honest right now, right? Smoking and drinking in general, right? People may choose to do them, but understand that you're cooking yourself if you want to perform better. I'm going to just tell you the truth, right? Because a lot of people are going to sugarcoat it and say, this is okay once in a while. But honestly, at the end of the day, for a lot of people, it's just a cope. All right, so let's just throw it out the window. Let's rip the Band-Aid off and understand that smoking destroys your blood vessels. Very simple. And what we're trying to do is get blood flowing through our blood vessels. And this is the exact opposite thing that you need to do to perform better, right? And what's interesting about it is that, you can do everything else right? You can be in shape, right? You can do all these things. But literally, if you're damaging the one thing that is going to help you have better blood flow, you're playing yourself at the end of the day, right? So put down the vapes, right? Put down anything that you're puffing. Ideally, if you're going to endeavor in that type of stuff, ingesting it is more than likely better. But if you're serious about fixing this, you know what you need to do, right? And it's so popularized, especially with the vapes and all of that nowadays, because it's easy at a younger age, for kids to get hooked to nicotine as well. So you got to throw it out, and a lot of those chemicals are not good for you as well. Throw it out, throw it in the garbage, and this is all part of you becoming the type of person that you need to be to have that consistent performance, right? To not worry or have these thoughts in the back of your mind, right? And it's going to take work. It's not going to take one day, but literally, if you do these things, you put in the groundwork to be able to be that type of man. Sooner than later, you will become him. And this will be a problem of the past. Now, most men try to fix ED with just one move, right? Quitting corn, taking a pill, right? But the real fix is much harder. But you only have to do it one time. Now, the hard path is the only one that actually works in the end. If you gained some value from this video, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and click this next video on the screen. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.